move on to another story. The cartoon character Spongebob SquarePants rather, is the center of a cemetery controversy in Ohio. When the family of Kimberly Walker buried her, they honored the former U.S. Army sergeant by placing a pair of 7-foot-high monuments of the character, Kimberly's favorite, dressed as a soldier on her gravesite. The cemetery approved the design initially, but then removed the tribute on Monday and promised to reimburse the family the $26,000 for the money spent on the monuments. Deborah and Kara Walker are Kimberly's mother and sister, respectively, and they join us via Skype from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you both for being with us. First of all, I'd like to just extend our condolence to you for the loss of Kimberly. I know that it's hard no matter how you slice it, and to have this kind of issue probably adds insult to injury. Let me start with you, Deborah. First of all, can you explain why there was a reverse in course? The cemetery approved the design and then decided to remove the monument. What happened between those two things?
Well, we went through the whole procedure of getting, and then they came and they delivered them to the cemetery. And then they told us the next day after they put them up that the monuments had to come down. That they was saying at first it's because of the landmark. The Spring Grove carries a National Historical Landmark, and they should never been approved by an employee. And that was the reason why they wanted to bring the SpongeBob's down.
I can only imagine how shocking it was to you and your family that they removed the gravesite. Gravestone rather. Can you describe how that made you feel?
I mean, we were hurt, we were upset, for the fact that this is what my daughter wanted, and we was just trying to honor her wishes, and felt like we wasn't, like we had failed in the sense that they wanted to remove her monuments. So it was very hurtful, and we were very upset that they took the monuments down.
I'm sure. Kara, let me ask you this question. As I understand it, the cemetery said that this was a mistake, that the person who approved this design was somebody young and inexperienced. I also understand that there is a small child who passed away that does, in fact, have a SpongeBob SquarePants gravesite not that far. What do you think was behind this decision? Was this a innocent misunderstanding, or is there something else going on here, Kara?
I believe there's something else going on due to the fact that the person who came up with it was a manager and a design team manager. All I did was took a sketch down there, me and my family, and the person came back with the actual measurements. It wasn't measurements that we picked out. It was just, here's a sketch of what we would like. We would like it to be a SpongeBob. We would like it to be carved out in full figure. And they agreed to that. They came back and they said, okay, well, this is how tall it's going to be. This is how wide it's going to be. And this is the price for that. So that wasn't a decision that my family had made. They made that decision for us, and we just agreed to it, just as they agreed to deliver the SpongeBobs.
So what do you think? You said you think it's something else other than an innocent misunderstanding. What do you think it is?
I'm not really sure, but I just feel like that's a really big misunderstanding, especially for someone who has worked at the cemetery for such a long time.
I understand, Deborah, that you had a meeting with the cemetery today. How did that go?
Well, we told them what our options was that we would do in order to put SpongeBob back up. They told us, they could do certain things and, and try to accommodate us. But they was trying to say, we wasn't going to really put SpongeBob back up, as far as in a standing form, because he's actually cut out and he's 6 feet tall.
Okay, so their compromise is perhaps to do some different version of the monuments. Is that what it is?
Pretty much, yes.
And how do you feel about that, Deborah?
Well, we still, like we told them, this started back in March. It wasn't like something that just happened, like yesterday or a month ago. We started with this on the 23rd of March. We went back and we had to put down a deposit, 1/3 of it, just for them to do the design, not to get started. Then 3 months passed, we go back in, approve the design, and we put down another third. So they had time between March to June to determine if, the SpongeBob could be put up or whatever the case, but the person said that they had got everything approved to put SpongeBob up.
I understand. Can you tell us a little bit about Kimberly?
Well, as everyone, Kimberly was serving in the U.S. Army, and she went in 2004. You know, and she had did 2 tours in Iraq, and she did even 1 year in Egypt. You know, and then her battalion was also leaving, which they have left to go to Afghanistan, and she was going to be a door gunner for her battalion.
Tell us about her personality, particularly since SpongeBob SquarePants was her favorite.
Okay, well, she has a bubbling personality, very happy, loving, giving, you know, cares about, you know, everyone. She did everything to help anybody. She had gave a lot of time, even in the military, to donate thousands of hours, you know, time to nursing homes and, you know, just to the company itself. And everyone just, you know, just geared to her. They loved her, you know, and she had her colonel, her captains, her lieutenants, all of them, you know. They loved and respect her,
Yeah.
you know, but she just had a pleasant and beautiful, you know, personality, always smiling, you know, in all her photos, always just happy and was just a giving person.
I know that your family misses her deeply. Let me just ask you this, Deborah. I understand that the cemetery offered to reimburse you for the cost of these monuments. First of all, is that true? And is there any other tribute that you would be willing to make in compromise instead of the SpongeBob monument?
No, we feel like they did offer, you know, to pay for the SpongeBob's since they took them down, you know, to reimburse our money back on those. But we feel like we said the time has went from, we're talking about March up into October, you know, everything we done by the book and they signed off on everything. And then for them to say now that they get here that, oh no, we can't have these SpongeBob's. I guess we didn't realize, you know, how big they were. They was going to be cut out. And even the plots that we bought there was where you could have a monument upright, you know. So we had to go to that lot in order to also buy 6 plots so that they can be the 2 SpongeBob's together.
Now, Kara, let me ask you, and Deborah, you can jump in. If the cemetery will not relent, will not allow you to put those monuments back up, what's the next step? How far are you willing to go and take this fight?
Well, it'll be a legal battle, you know, because we're not going to just have our SpongeBob's, you know, taken down. Like I said, I can't help it because one person or 2 people, as they claim, did not do what they were supposed to do. And to me, you know, if you got a contract and everything went the way it was supposed to go, and if you're saying you're as a company that you can do a contract with a person and decide later on that you don't like that contract that you did, that you can break that contract with no consequences, I don't think that's right.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for coming on to tell your story. And again, we express our sympathies and condolences for the loss of a beautiful daughter. Deborah Walker, Kara Walker, thank you very much. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're watching Arise America.